Live for Excellence Productions presents the Savvy Emcee, How to Be a Dynamic Master of Ceremonies. Written by Rae A. Stonehouse. Narrated by Mike from Google. Introduction. Meetings, get-togethers, and events are happening every day somewhere near you. And probably right now as you are reading this. Many will be organized and run effectively. Others will leave audience members saying, well, that was a waste of time. Poor organization and a lack of leadership can prevent an organization from achieving its purpose. Meetings are expensive. From the actual cost of running the event, paying employees to attend, and incidental costs such as travel, meals, and accommodation all add up. An experienced master of ceremonies can ensure an event is run smoothly from start to finish. There is a need for experienced, self-confident speaking professionals to meet the events and meetings industry requirements. This book is written to fast-track anyone who wants to learn how to MC events. Welcome to the Savvy Emcee, How to Be a Dynamic Master of Ceremonies. The content of this book is derived from my previous book E=MC², Tips and Techniques to Becoming a Dynamic Master of Ceremonies, published in 2014. This expanded edition will be helpful to those of you who have been thrust into the position of having to MC an event with short notice and without experience, as well as those who are more experienced and are thinking about earning income and perhaps turning their MCing into a side hustle or a full-time business. Later on in the book, I delve into public speaking skills development, as it is one of the basic skills required to serve as a master of ceremonies. You will notice I use the terms Master of Ceremonies, MC, and MC interchangeably throughout the book. Before we get started with all the exciting tips and techniques, let me share with you why I created this book in the first place. My professional career has been as a registered nurse, working predominantly in mental health and psychiatry. I can't recall there being many, if any, opportunities to practice my craft of MCing while working in that capacity. In fact, being an MC hasn't even featured on my bucket list of things I need to accomplish before I pass on to the afterlife. You might have noticed I called MCing a craft in the previous paragraph. I truly believe it is. For me, becoming a proficient master of ceremonies developed incrementally while participating in hundreds, if not thousands, of weekly Toastmasters meetings. I joined Toastmasters to develop my public speaking skills. Before joining, I was terrified of standing and speaking before a group, public speaking as it is commonly referred to. I quickly learned public speaking and leadership went hand in hand. To be an effective leader, you need to be a good communicator. To be an effective speaker, you need to be a good leader. The Toastmasters program provided me ample opportunities to develop my MCing skills in their weekly meetings, as well as outside of the club environment. The weekly club meeting and program provides as many speaking opportunities for its members as can be packed into the amount of time allotted. The different roles, while providing speaking opportunities, also provide varying levels of leadership skill building. The basic leadership skills you learn are readily usable for the more challenging roles you take on. My journey to becoming an accomplished Toastmaster has included many leadership roles and positions. Each has brought its own challenges and lessons learned. In my early years in Toastmasters, I recall being volunteered to introduce an area governor at a speech contest gathering that was being hosted locally. The area governor's role was to officiate at the speech contest, that is, MC the event. I recall being terrified having to go up onto the stage, with everyone staring at me while I introduced the area governor. The very next year, I was the area governor. A lot can happen in a year. I found I actually liked standing on the stage with all the audience's eyes on me. Since then, I have taken on ever-increasingly challenging leadership roles in Toastmasters such as Division Governor, Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training, District Governor, and past District Governor. Outside of Toastmasters, I have taken on leadership roles as a director, then the chair of a local entrepreneurs society. In that capacity, I organized 30 or so town hall meetings, which were panel discussions with local experienced entrepreneurs discussing issues of importance to those interested in the topic of the meeting. My role included subject development, speaker recruitment, speaker coaching, marketing and promoting the event, selling registrations, developing the agenda timeline, moderating the event, and providing post-event follow-up. Many of those activities could arguably be described as being an event planner's duties. As an MC, I take a proactive approach and don't leave anything to chance. Throughout this book, I provide you with tips and techniques I have learned along the way in becoming an effective master of ceremonies and turning it into a business venture. As Mr. MC, my business name, I provide master of ceremonies and event organizing services in my local market. The task of emceeing is very much like the proverbial tip of an iceberg, i.e., much of what takes place is behind the scenes where the public doesn't see. Far too many people have the view anyone can walk onto a stage, announce a bunch of names, crack a few jokes, and be effective. Nothing could be further from the truth. As you will see, I share with you the behind-the-scenes details needed to be a dynamic master of ceremonies. Throughout this book, you will notice I use a conversational style of writing. Sure, you don't get to speak back to me, but it might be helpful to read the book as if I was coaching you. This book is written from the perspective that you, the reader, has a basic concept of what is involved in being a master of ceremonies, but would like to learn more, so you can do it yourself. An emceeing for dummies, if you will. Not that you are a dummy, of course. As in other articles and books I have written, I utilize what I call an onion approach. In exploring a topic, we peel layer after layer away, so we get to the essence of the subject. Much like peeling back the layers of an onion, but hopefully without all the tears that often accompany doing so. I hope you find this appealing. Okay, that's the only pun I will be using, maybe. In my first edition of this book, I leveraged Albert Einstein's name recognition with E equals MC squared and applied it to our topic. The MC portion should be fairly obvious. But what about the E portion of the formula? Drawing from the field of public speaking and leadership, E can have multiple meanings, all of which you should be. Entertaining, educational, enthusiastic, endearing, encouraging, effortless, economic of time, efficient, early, engaging. I could likely pull out my dictionary and overwhelm you with a plethora of words that start with E, so I will stop here. One last comment before we get started. While this book provides a systematic approach to serving as a dynamic MC, your self-confidence, poise, courage, public speaking skills, and courage to take on a role many others would avoid at all costs will go a long way in ensuring your success. Those are all factors that are beyond the scope of this book. However, if I can do it, you can too. Rae Stonehouse, a.k.a. Mr. MC.